The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the November 2nd, otherwise known as the Wonderful Wednesday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. Let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. And the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. I do want you to know I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here. But even more important than that, and that's this. During this next 53 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone. You can dial on it at 877-927-6648. Now, if you can't dial in, we've got you covered. You can always send me an email. You send that to steve@tfnn.com. And inside that subject heading, if you would be good enough to put radio show question. And, of course, if you're inside our Tigers Den, well, any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on a wonderful Wednesday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. Right now, we got a little bit of a mixed bag. That mix coming from the semis are up 19 points. Otherwise, the other indices are trading to the downside. Dow's up 102, 0.3%. S&P 18, 0.5%, 0.5%. The Nasdaq is off 69, 0.6. Russell's off 1 1/10, or 21 points. Gold is up $1, so it's flat. Silver is flat. Off a nickel, basically. Trade at 19.61. Light sweet crude is up 67 cents. Natural gas up 41 pennies. The 30-year treasury up 14 ticks. She's printing at 121.16. Now, lead the charge. Dollar-wise, the upside, you got United Therapeutics up $21, 9%. Charles River Labs up $18, or nearly 9%. Inspire Medical Solutions, $14, 7%. Super Micro, having a super day, up 18%, nearly 13 buckaroonies. And McKesson Corp up about $10, that's 2.5%. Leading the charge, dollar-wise, the downside, it is Rogers Corp, off almost $100, 43%. Now that's a stinger. Mercado Libre is off about 4%, $33. Ligand Pharmaceuticals off 23 or 28%. Omnicell down 26%, $21. Public Storage off 6%, or 19 buckaroonies. So we've got plenty to look at. Of course, I want to look at what you want to look at. Let's begin taking a look at that ES Mini. Let's change over and take a look. Well, let's do this here first. While we're on the black background charts, there are some new profiles that are forming. One has already completed, and that is inside the Dow Equity Future Contracts. That's your bottom left panel out here. So that we do not have any kind of a topping pattern inside of the Dow Equity Future Contract. What we do have, though, is we do have a new bearish structure daily profile. So resistance, 33.026. If at day's end, after Powell's delivered his statement that says we're going to raise interest rates and however he deals with the Q&A session out there, if price is trading about 33.026, that's the Dow Equity Future Contract, that tells you we're headed back to 34.325. To the downside, the spike to the downside, should we see one, or should we see a move to the downside inside the Dow Equity Future Contract, it should find support at 31.564. This is a new profile. It did take hold last night. The new profile that is attempting to form, this just formed a couple of minutes ago, about a half an hour ago, is inside the Russell 2000. It too is now this is a slightly bearish structured profile. Don't know whether it will take hold. But right now, we use the data that we have available to us. And this shows us that the sellers are perked at 1876.40 and the buyers 1788. If price closes above 1876 and the profile retains itself, that would be a bullish outcome, and then suggest a move to 1939. A move lower, You're watching the 1788 level. No other profiles really for us to take a look at because there are none out here with regard to the equity future contract. So now let's go take a look at the multi-panel charts here for the ES Mini. We'll change our screens here momentarily. We'll have the white background screens up, and in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see the daily time frame. Everything else is a shorter-term time frame. And the shorter-term time frames are really where we're going to focus our attention. Why? Well, because we're trying to understand, is there a bounce that's going to take place between now and coming into 2 o'clock? If we look at the 30-minute time frame chart, the answer to that would be very possible. Why? Because it has a confirmed Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. The 15-minute chart has a confirmed TD9 count. Well, watch the 15-minute chart now. And the reason is when you get those TD9 count patterns, my experience is what I see, and I'm going to try to find a way to test this theory out, see how real it is. But when we get a TD9 count, price makes its way to that oscillator and change line. Now, that oscillator and change line can act as resistance. In this case here on a 15-minute chart, it's red. So it is definitely resistance. In order for the market to suggest to you that it wants to rally further, you need to see it close above 38.52. 38.52 is the top of the 15-minute profile. If we get that, and 38.53 is the 30-minute oscillator and change line. So that becomes a real key area, this 38.53-ish range out there. If price is able to overcome that, then we should see a move in the ES Mini that takes us up into that 38.68 level. What happens if price deflects itself, in essence, at the 38.53-ish area? Well, then price likely heads back and tests the lows of the morning out there. That's what's going on inside the ES Mini. We can also see on the daily time frame, that's your upper left panel, price is testing and so far has held the top of that daily profile. Now, the top of that daily profile, I think it's 38.47. I'll give you the exact number here. It is 38.46. It says 30, so it's 38.46 and a quarter would really be the key level of support. We're at 38.46 and a quarter, just as we were speaking out there. So you've got support that is holding. You've got these short-term bottoms, but so far just a counter trend move as price has not overcome either the oscillator and change line or the top of the 15-minute profile for the ES Mini. Quick peek here at the other 30-minute charts. If one is making them, sometimes they're all making these Rhodes momentum indicator bottom signals. Let's go find out if that is what's taking place. Here are the 30-minute time frame charts for the ES Mini. The answer is, yeah, we see that pattern. The NQ could be forming that bottom. Needs a bullish reversal candle out there. So no, even though the ES Mini is showing a bottom out here, it's not really being confirmed by the other three equity future contracts. So let's skip this, sort of skip this. Well, let's actually do this. For a 30-minute time frame for the ES Mini, let me pull over our TAS market breadth, see where we're at here. Aha. So on the ES Mini, lower left-hand corner, you'll see the S&P 500. This actually just had a bullish crossover. So that 30-minute Rhodes momentum indicator signal that I think was going to suggest getting up to 38.53, that should come to fruition. There's 180 instruments trading above the top of the 30-minute profile, 120 trading below the bottom. Of course, it's going to need some help from the NQ. Doesn't want to do all the heavy lifting. When we take a look at the NQ's TAS market profile breadth, it's very negative. So this is where the struggle is for the ES Mini. When I say very bearish, or what I mean is there's 51 instruments trading below the bottom of the profile and 29 trading above. So on a 30-minute basis, even though you've got that nice signal for the ES Mini out there, and it certainly is trying to do its job, it needs some help from its friends. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kegstad's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kegstad breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, folks. So the question inside the Tiger's Den from Dennis is, can I provide a outlook for the next 2 weeks inside of the QQQ series ETF out there? My response to Dennis, I figure if he's got a question, somebody out there might have that same question, was to really pay attention to the NQ charts out here. The NQ charts show a clear consolidation that is going on right now. And that clear consolidation, the reason why it's very clear to me, at least, Dennis, is if I take a look at the trading session from October 27th, that got down to a low of 10.921. 10.917 is the bottom of that profile. The very next trading session, price got up to a high of 11.626. The top of that profile, 11.632. So there's our consolidation. Price between that level, that area, 10.917 and 11.631. Now, if price was able to close above the swing point from October the 25th out here, that would then, or could then, generate an A to B equals CD to the upside. So the A point, we'll draw that pattern in, is the low from October 13th. That had confirmed another bottoming pattern out there. The B point is going to be the high from October 25th, and then the C point is that low that tested support of that daily profile on October 27th. That was about a 0.618 retracement level. And if price can overcome 11.734, that means a close above it, then you could be looking at a move to 12.170, 12.510. But don't know whether that is really going to come to fruition. Certainly timing, trying to figure it out from a weekly standpoint or daily standpoint, not until the market really reveals information to me could I clearly provide you with that answer. But we do know an answer right now. It's a consolidation. Now, I'll switch over to the QQQ charts, and you'll see that its profile levels are not as clean with regard to being able to provide you with that consolidation answer as the NQ. Again, my belief is that if you trade the ETF structures like the Qs, or maybe it's 2X or 3X, or the SPYs, or the Diamonds, or the IWM, please get access to the Russell 2000. Learn the chart patterns out there. Maybe get access simply to the market profiles. That would be a help. to you. Learn the different tools and techniques that we teach around here, whether it's A to B equals CD patterns, whether it's a Chapman wave, whether it's the power law vector indicator, whether it's the TD9 counts, or Rhodes momentum indicator signals, and the bullish and bearish reversal candles. It's really a small group of components that you need to help you answer the question, what are the markets actually doing out there? But here you take a look at the Qs, and you can see that price never got down to test the bottom of its daily profile. It is bullish in structure, and price has been able to close above the top of its daily profile. We didn't see that inside the NQ. So the real answer to your question would not really be me taking a look at the Qs out here. It's really about understanding what's going on inside that daily equity future contract. Here on the Qs, though, as long as we've got this chart up, you can see nice daily bottom signal, Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. You've got a TD9 count and Rhodes momentum indicator bottom on the weekly time frame chart, and you have a confirmed TD9 count bottom. Now that pattern will complete this month, the month of November. We do know that a lower low can form on the bar following bar number 9, so that is still a possibility, and it's especially a possibility with price below the bottom of that monthly profile out there. But you do have nice bottoming signals inside of the Qs out there, and if those lows don't get taken out, we could see a healthy rally out there. But I don't want to make that call right now. We just have a consolidation with inside the daily profile. So I hope that helps you out. And thanks so much for the request. Let's go to our next request out here. This one from David H. David wants to take a look at Chipotle. CMG is the ticker symbol. So let's go ahead and get that fired up on our screens out here. I don't see any other questions that I've got in the queue. So if you're inside the Tiger Set and you'd like me to take a look at some instrument, I'd be happy to do that. Just go ahead and type in a message either in the public space or a private ping. With regard to Chipotle out here, right now we can see it's trading out at 1452. It looks like it wants to potentially go target its TD9 count breakout level from its daily time frame, which had a nice big gap to the upside. And I really think that's David's question is, will price get inside that gap? I don't know the answer to that. What we do know that right now with regard to Chipotle is that bull sash candle labeled wave F out there, part of the Chapman wave, has volume of what? It has volume of 437,000 shares. You're at 86,000 the first 2 hours of trading. So it seems like it's light in the loafers on a pullback to that swing low. The swing low out there, and it's trading inside that candle, doesn't mean it won't test it, doesn't mean it can't bust it out, but it does not have the volume. It's not cruising down in volume. So that low out there that it's gunning for, appears to be gunning for, is 1491.06. Below that, you've got 1433.44. That's the real key number that I would be watching, Dennis. If price closes below that, that's going to suggest that it may go fill that gap. And to fill that gap, price would need to get all the way down to 1327. The weekly profiles out here. You've got a nice TD9 count top that formed on the bar following bar number 9. That was September 9th out there. And price has not really tested support. It's below the first level of support, the oscillator and change line. So this is suggesting, Dennis, that price should test the 1430 area. 1433.44 is that TD9 count breakout level. So a test and rejection, meaning closing back about 1433, would be a positive outcome. The volume, by the way, on that breakout was 1.4 million shares. And as I said, so far today, you're only 92,000 shares to the downside. On a monthly time frame, a nice TD9 count bottom takes price right up to that oscillator and change line. Remember, I shared with you, we were looking at just simply 30-minute charts out there. But my experience is when we get these TD9 counts, that price gets up to the oscillator and change line more times than not. I'm going to try to figure out how many more times than not that is, what that percentage ratio is. So with regard to Chipotle, you're below I know you've got some calls that expire in a week or two. Right now, I'd be watching the 1433 level. You're below that daily profile, and if you close below that, you're likely going to go fill that gap. So let's call it, let's make it an even 1430. 1430 would be the number. On a 30-minute chart out here, just to get a feel for what's going on intraday with regard to Chipotle, what we have out here is what? We have price pulling back into a low out here from 10:30 in the morning on October 28th. The volume on that was 7,400 contracts. That was at 10:30. So 70 contracts, 7,400 shares. So in this session, the volume 11,000. So 11,000 shares were going against 7,400. Wow. So that low is going to be tested. That low is 1446.67. The low so far, it's already been tested, 1445.68. So you need to see now, it's testing that, and even if it rejects it, because it's being tested with volume, you should get another test of that area. You'd be looking for a test of that low on light volume to say, okay, you can't bust it to the downside. Now maybe you try to bust it to the upside, but that upside would be that red oscillator change line that I would be watching for. So on the short-term time frame, Chipotle is moving into a swing point with some volume out there. That's suggesting we may see some lower price. That brings back that 1430. So, David, I hope that helps you out. Thanks so much for the request, and have a wonderful Wednesday. Real quickly, we've got another request here. This one's from Nick A. Nick, would you go over Tesla entry point, support, and resistance? Thanks. So let's go ahead and we'll take a look at Tesla when we get back from this breakout here. TSLA is the ticker symbol. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Dow's down 48, S&P's off 21, NASDAQ off 95, Russell's off 23, semi still up 14 points, is about 0.6% to the upside. We've got a request here from Nick A. Nick says, hey, Steve, would you go over Tesla, an entry point, and support and resistance? So let's take we got the daily, the weekly, and the monthly time frame charts up here. What we can see on the weekly chart is that price has pulled back and has held and has tested its breakout level a couple different times. That's 209.08. So 209.08 is certainly one area of one potential entry level. But there is a new weekly profile that has formed. This profile formed last week. And so 210.11 would really be an entry point if price would or could pull back to that level out there. So let's go with 210.11 as one spot. That's coming from the weekly chart. Below that, the level would be 209.08. The monthly chart shows a bullish structured profile. As a Rhodes momentum indicator top, when you have a top, all it really gives price the right to do is go back and test support. That is what took place in the case of Tesla. Bullish structured profile, find support at 205.54. Doesn't mean it's out of the woods. Not necessarily. The swing point that was formed May of 2022 had volume of 1.9 billion shares. Last month, this came down and tested that with 1.7 billion shares. So that is a test and rejection on lighter volume. So that's a positive. So another figure to write down here is going to be that 205.54 level, the bottom of that monthly profile. And now to the daily time frame. The daily time frame confirmed a Rhodes momentum indicator bottom pattern. It did that on the trading day of October 21st. The actual support level of those bullish candles, or that bullish candle, would be the low from the prior session, and that low is at 202 even Steven. That is another number to write down on your pad of paper, because there are several entry areas here. So you've written that down now, is a 202. Now, this has a support, profile support, is at 220.33. Oscillator and change line support around 214.80, because that number is going to change, as you know, Nick, as price moves up or down. And then you've got profile support at 208.20. So that's what the daily, the weekly, and the monthly charts are telling you. Resistance, you asked for resistance. Resistance on the daily is still the top of the daily profile since price is below it. That's 228.41. If you get two consecutive closes above that, Nick, then you're looking at a move to 257.50, the TD9 count breakdown area. Real quickly, let's take a look at a 30-minute time frame chart out here. Not to confuse anybody, but on the 30-minute time frame chart, we can see that price has done what? It has formed a TD9 count bottom. It does that at 10 o'clock this morning. Now, that low of that candle session's low, this is at 10 a.m. This is a 30-minute chart. Volume there was 5.4 million shares. That was just tested, and that was tested on 2.5 million shares out there. So right now on a 30-minute time frame, if you're really being aggressive here, then as long as 222.05 holds, and it should, 222.05 is the TD9 count breakout level. That was tested back here at 11 o'clock in the morning on October the 31st. And so that would be an area, 222.05. Of course, you would like to really see that TD9 count bottom hold. So you want to see any moves below the level of 223.40. You want to like to see a 30-minute close back above that area. Otherwise, that pattern gets negated. So, Nick, I hope that helps you out. By the way, resistance on a 30-minute time frame on a move higher, the significant resistance would be up at the 230.75 level. So hope that helps you out. Thank you very much for the request out there. Very much appreciated. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Let's take a look at what else. Do we have any other questions that have come in? Looks like no. The answer is no, and again, more no. And there's no request inside the Tiger's Den that I see. So what do we want to do? What do we want to look at out here? Let's see what is moving inside the markets. You know what we should do? Why should we do it? Let's go take a look at Apple. Let's just try to see if we've got any kind of hints as to what might be taking place today out here as the Fed releases number AAPL. See if we can find any tells. Microsoft, Raul, that's another one that we'll take a look at. So thanks for that request. As soon as we get the charts here for Apple, we take a quick peek at it. We'll go take a look at Microsoft, see what kind of signals it is providing to us. Sorry that it's taking so long here. Oh, what the heck happened there? Oh, okay, there we go. All right, so we got the charts here for Apple. Apple has completed a sell to D point pattern. So it has completed a Gartley sell pattern. And it did that yesterday when it formed that bearish engulfing candle. We talked about that. So price right now is inside its daily profile. So it may just be pulling back to test support at 147.07. That is its red oscillator and change line. But this is a bullish structured profile out here. And so this would suggest that 141.80 to 144.17 would be the support area. You want to watch that between 2 and 4 o'clock. Do we get a spike? And does that support area hold? Again, 141.80, 144.17. The 30-minute time frame chart. So we've seen a bit of selling out here over the past couple of days inside of Apple. That was confirmed with both the Rhodes Momentum Indicator top and a TD9 count top. We had an A to B equals CD pattern that was confirmed here with this hammer candle, and that was at 12 noon. That was yesterday. All that did, remember, we get a bottom pattern. What Stevie say? We typically get a move up to the oscillator and change line. That is exactly what unfolded here on a 30-minute chart here for Apple. Price got up to that level. It did that at 15:30 yesterday. Did that again at the 4 o'clock time frame. And now what do we have? It looks like Apple wants to make a run for the 144.50 level. That's what is it, below profile, below red oscillator and change line. It has closed below that hammer candle, so I can't use that as support any longer. So intraday, Apple is suggesting a move to 144.50. Well, that takes us into the 141.80 to 144.17 area for the daily time frame for Apple. So maybe this is a bit of a tell here. I wouldn't be surprised. We know he's going to come out with a 75-cent or 75.75% rate hike out there. And but maybe that first move down, for whatever reason, the statement takes Apple down into 141.80, 144.17. I know there's a lot of option traders inside the market out there. So, you'd want to take a look at that quick swoosh, Nike swoosh to the downside. And if that area holds, well, likely we head back to the upside out there. So that's what the charts for Apple are showing us. Rahul wanted to take a look at Microsoft. MSFT is the ticker symbol there. So let's go ahead and pull those charts up. See, again, we're looking here for any kind of tell if we can find one. We're not going to force it. And I don't think we forced the Apple one. I think that was pretty easy to see. Doesn't guarantee that price gets down to those levels, but that's what I would be looking for today between the 2 and 4 o'clock time frame. Now, Microsoft out here, Microsoft is trading back inside the swing point out here from October the 13th. Now, that had 42 million shares. So far today, Microsoft has done total volume of 8.8 million shares. So it's nowhere near that. But even though it's inside that swing point, and because it's below the daily profiles out here, Rahul, price could be gunning for and want to test that low. So that low would be 219.13. So maybe you put this together with Apple. This is under the assumption that we see a swish, a move to the downside. So then the question is, does Microsoft get down, test and reject that swing point, which has volume, and that test and rejection would get down to the 219.13 level, or at least 1 penny below that, and then close back above it. On a weekly chart for Microsoft, I do not have much. Yeah, and you've got a TD9 count bottom in the case of Microsoft that formed last month and will complete this month. And because price is below the bottom of that daily profile, here's the deal. If price closes below that October 13th low, that's at the 219.13 level, we'll see a move to 211.94. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. So in summary, Rahul, looks to me like Microsoft wants to trade lower. Looks like it's doing it on lighter volume. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. When we get back from this break, we're going to go take a look at Amazon as well. AMZN.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back. Dow's down 54, S&P's off 19, NASDAQ 194 points to the downside, the Russell's off 22. The only indices trading the upside are the semiconductors. They're up about 14 points. That's about 0.6% to the upside. We're taking a look at Amazon out here. This is Rahul inside the Tigers Den. And Amazon, you're short Amazon. I would stay short Amazon. Looks to me like what it wants to do is target at least 81.30. 81.30 is the monthly TD9 count breakout area. We see no bottom pattern on the daily time frame. We see no bottom pattern on the weekly time frame, and that's why we immediately go to that 81.30 level for the monthly time frame. Now, with regard to A to B equals CD patterns, let me change this here to TOST first. That's the next one we're going to take a look at. And let's switch over to the black background charts. We'll take a look at those A to B equals CD patterns and what might be unfolding here inside of Amazon. So here we take a look at the weekly time frame. That is a very conservative A to B equals CD pattern. The volume on the trading week of May 23rd was 490 million shares. Last week, you were moving down with 522 million shares. We're not even completely halfway through the week. We're already at 300 million shares. So it is trading below a key swing point. That's the swing point for May 23rd with what looks like volume. So that's the small A to B equals CD at 77. Let's actually redraw the A to B equals CD pattern because it really should look more like this. The A point should be the A point, which looks like it is the high. Where's the high? Is this? Let's see. 188.65, 188.11. So it's going to be the high for the A point. It's going to be the July 12th, the week that began July 12th. The B point is the low that we were taking like at for May 23rd. The C point is a retracement up into August 22nd out there. That retracement was a 52% retracement. So you now are going to, or peers. Now, we don't know where price is going to close at week's end. Rahul, if it is below 101.26, you will have a confirmed weekly A to B equals CD pattern with a price projection of 59 buckaroonies. I would say, because of how price is coming off the C point, much stronger than the A to B leg, more likely than not, 35.40. That's hard to believe. It is hard to fathom, but that's what the chart patterns say. But clearly, the chart patterns do not say get out of your short position inside of Amazon. So I hope that helps you out. Thanks so much for the request. Let's take a look at Toast for Dan inside the Tigers Den. TOST is its ticker symbol. And Toast right now trading out at 21.03. It did make a 100% move of a move, got back up to its swing point. That swing point was from the trading session of September 12th. Volume there was 5.2 million shares. As price got up there, it was 6.5. Wow, it really should have been able to take out that swing point, but it has not. It's trading with inside its bullish structure daily profile, Dan. So before we get over to the white background charts, this is suggesting price could pull back to 1933 to 1974. Now, we wouldn't make that conclusion until we see price get below the top of its weekly profile. Top of its weekly profile is at 2094. Sometimes old resistance can become new support. So if you see price moving below 2097, then that adds to the likelihood of a move to that 1933, 1974 level out there. Let's take a look at the white background charts. We'll change screens, see if there's anything out here that Dan and I need to be aware of. And that would include you too if you're listening in. And yeah, so why did this top? Remember, it was pushing higher with volume. We clearly took a look at that. It was a TD9 count pattern. That TD9 count pattern, that went ahead and completed on the bar following bar number 9. That was on the day of October 26. Get a topping pattern. What do we see happen the majority of the time? Where does price pull back to? It's oscillator and change line. Now that's what it's doing today. The oscillator and change line is 21.28. It's green, so a price oscillator is still above zero, but a close below that suggests a further retracement. Well, Dan, oh wait, you can't even see the chart. Wait a minute. Oh, you see it? Yeah, now you see it. Okay. Here's the TD9 count top. Here's the week of October 26. That high was never taken out, means closed above. So even though it was moving into that swing point from back here on September 12th with volume, yeah, I've got the white chart. Thank you, Dan. Or you should see it now. So you got a nice TD9 count top, but prices now today testing that support of 21.28. You close below it, odds favor that move back towards the bullish structured support area 1933, 1974. Again, we're not going to. It's not going to make that call until we see a close below, certainly at least a move below the top of that weekly profile. That's at 2094. So 2094 is the number to put down on your pad of paper out there. And on the monthly chart, not enough data to really assist us. So we do have a 30-minute time frame chart, Dan. Let's go take a look at that, see what TOST, which really stands for Toast Inc. out there. Here we can see a nice Rhodes Momentum Indicator top, a wave number 7 top. That was back at about 10 o'clock in the morning on October the 27th. Price right now is trading below its breakout level of 21.39. We don't see any kind of a bottom signal here. If anything, I can't really call it an A to B equals CD. I guess I could call it an A to B equals CD to the downside. It would look something like this. We'll draw that in. We'll draw the A to B point out here, and then we'll just simply move that. So here's A to B. We just simply move this over. We're going to try to move it over. Here's the C point. That's pretty clear. And so 1-to-1 would get us down into the 2086 level. So if you get down there and you generate a bullish reversal candle, then toast on a short-term base would create a short-term Gartley buy pattern out there. But if it continues to head lower, and there's not any reason on a 30-minute chart to suggest otherwise, that says get back and watch that daily top of that profile at the, 2049? 2094, a little dyslexic there. So, Dan, that's what I see inside of Toast. Hope that helps you out. So Toast may be toast. Yeah, I wouldn't call it toast, totally toast out there, but it may be pulling back to test support. That's at 1933 to 1974. So thank you very much for the request. Let's go to our next request coming in from Hector and the fuel injectors. And Hector wants to take a look at John Deere. DE is the ticker symbol. So as we pull these stock charts up, Hector goes on to say, happy wicked Fed Wednesday. Deere starting to look weak up here at this level. Do you see a deep pullback or consolidation before a run topside? So let's we started our 2023 spring summer wish list. Any suggestions of sectors for next spring? Yeah, absolutely. The Dow, and the Dow. Hopefully by next spring we've got that, and we really should. It should happen before then, but we'll you're going to have that flight of capital into the U.S. Stock markets out here. But as far as John Deere is concerned, it's got a TD9 count top. Now remember, you form these TD9 count patterns, whether it's top or bottom. What typically happens? Price makes a beeline for that oscillator and change line. Why does that happen, Steve-O? Excellent question. Not a clue. I just know that it does it. You and I, we do these charts. I just pull them up, right? That's just random. Yet when we take a look at these patterns, what is it that we see the majority of the time? Yeah. So what price has done, even on this pullback, Hector and Patty, and the reason to bring that up is because all price has done is pull back and test and so far reject its green oscillator and change line. So you are really neutral with regard to John Deere on a daily time frame. The weekly time frame has a confirmed A to B equals CD to the upside. That would take us into the 437 level. You're above the green oscillator and change line on a monthly time frame, so that's pretty bullish too. So you're just neutral on the daily time frame out there. And if price did close below its oscillator and change line, it should seek out 380 or 363. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We got the charts here for Community Health Systems. Ticker symbol there is CYH. This is from Brent in Martinez, California. Brent, thanks so much for the request out there. He says, happy, wonderful Wednesday. Back at you. Could you please give your analysis on CYH areas of support and resistance? Thanks so much. So, yeah, the resistance level is only one that you really need to pay attention to, in my opinion. That's at 319. And that's the top of that weekly profile. So, beautiful set of charts out here. The monthly went ahead and confirmed a TD9 count bottom last month. That pattern will complete this month. The weekly last week confirmed a Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom. That did it when it generated that bull sash candle. Price dealing with resistance, the top of that profile. And on the daily time frame chart, we've got wave number 7. That is the letter G bottom out there. And price running right up to its TD9 count breakdown area of $3.14. But it's 319. That is the real culprit here, where those sellers are located. Brent, if you can overrun those sellers at 319, then that suggests a further move higher. Further move higher to where? Well, from a profile standpoint, we'd resort back to the monthly time frame, and we'd be looking at 401, Formula 401 that is, and above that, Formula 507, and above that, Formula 573, the oscillator unchanged line. And that seems like a likely outcome. That is, if price is able to close above $3.19. So, Brent, I hope that helps you out with regard to CYH, and have a wonderful Wednesday as well. So, we're going to have a little bit of fireworks, or we should have some fireworks. I wish that we could find some kind of tell out there. I think the best that we were able to come up with was watching charts like Microsoft and Apple. We could see where their key levels of support are. A price pushes down to those levels that hold would likely suggest that the market tries to recover whatever maybe it loses during the first hour or so after Powell releases his comments or during his press conference. Likewise, to the upside, we identified some new profile levels. In the case of the Dow, that high is going to be 33,026. You close above that, that says higher price is coming. Inside the Russell 2000, it's 1876.40. So, folks, stay tuned for the wonderful programming that's coming up. Please have a wonderful Wednesday. I'll be back with you tomorrow, 11 o'clock sharp, on Terrific Thursday. Have a great day. Thanks again for joining us.